Before we begin, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more powerful story content. In today's story, a confident CEO walks into a blind date expecting something ordinary, but she quickly judges the man sitting across from her. What she doesn't know is that appearances can be deceiving, and the truth is waiting just outside the diner. As she walks away, she's about to discover something that will completely change her perspective on success, respect, and identity. So stay tuned, and let's get started. The evening air in downtown Chicago carried a mix of city noise and soft jazz drifting from a nearby bar. Inside a modest diner, warm lights reflected off polished tables, creating a calm and simple atmosphere. It was far from the luxury places she was used to. The CEO stepped in her presence instantly noticeable. Sharp heels, tailored coat, and a confident posture that spoke of power and success. She glanced around briefly before checking her phone. One blind date, she reminded herself. Just one meeting arranged by a mutual contact. She wasn't expecting much, but she certainly wasn't expecting this. A few minutes later, the door opened again. A man walked in, slightly hesitant but composed. His clothes were clean but clearly worn. His shoes had seen better days, and there was a quiet exhaustion in his eyes. Still, there was something steady about him. He approached her table with a polite smile. "Hi, you must be Emma," he said gently. She nodded, offering a reserved smile as they sat. He spoke about his life, how he was raising his young daughter alone, how he worked long hours, and how he valued simple things. His voice was calm, sincere, and without pretense. But to her, it all sounded like limitation. She tried to stay polite, but her attention drifted. This wasn't the life she had built, and certainly not the partner she had imagined. The gap between their worlds felt too wide. After a few minutes, she placed her hands on the table and stood up. "I'm sorry," she said, her tone controlled but distant. "This just isn't going to work." Without waiting for a response, she turned and walked out, leaving behind a quiet man and a moment she didn't yet understand. The cool night air wrapped around her as she stepped out onto the sidewalk, her heels clicking sharply against the pavement. She pulled out her phone, ready to call her driver, still slightly irritated at how the evening had turned out. In her mind, she had already moved on. But then she heard it low. Powerful engines humming in perfect rhythm. She paused across the street. A row of luxury supercars stood parked under the glow of streetlights. Sleek designs, polished finishes, and rare models. She instantly recognized these weren't ordinary vehicles. They were the kind owned by elite collectors, the kind she saw at exclusive events. Her brows furrowed. What were they doing outside a small diner like this? Before she could process it, the diner door opened behind her. She turned slightly, just enough to see him step outside. The same man she had just dismissed. Only now everything felt different. A valet hurried toward him, not casually but with respect. "Good evening, sir," he said, handing over a set of keys with careful attention. Another man approached, greeting him with familiarity. It was clear this wasn't coincidence. She watched stunned as he nodded politely, thanking them in the same calm, humble tone he had used inside. Then he walked toward one of the most striking cars, a rare black supercar that practically defined status and wealth. He opened the door with ease, like it belonged to him. He paused for a brief moment and glanced in her direction. There was no arrogance in his eyes, no need to prove anything. Just quiet understanding. "I didn't come here to impress you," he said calmly. "I wanted you to see me, not what I have." The engine roared to life. And just like that, the man she underestimated drove away, leaving her standing there surrounded by the truth she failed to see.